You're watching my favorite YouTube channel again with the Blood Hunt review. Issue number 3 came out this week, closing it out. It started with telling us that this happens right before Blood Hunt issue number 4, which kind of makes sense considering the whole appearance of the temple randomly in New York. And you know what? Dr. Doom appeared in the Blood Hunt 4. Didn't matter here in the 3rd issue. Whatever they did in the 2nd was Shuryu talking to him. Wasn't there. And I wish I would have gotten a continuation of that conversation over some moments in this comic. Well, he's underwater. Black Panther is underwater, seemingly able to breathe. I'm not even going to ask how. Anuket. Let's just give the credit to Anuket. Anuket gave powers, more than just breathing underwater powers, more than just however Wakandans breathe underwater. If somebody knows if there's a history of Wakandans being able to speak, breathe underwater, let me know all about it. He didn't have any special dialogue word balloons on the boxes when he was talking. He didn't have anything like that. But what did he have? Well, the trope. He had his electrical powers. He was able to use venom shock, so to say, underwater, which was highly effective. Highly effective. The Atlanteans down there were like, no, we don't even need the king. Don't worry, I got this. All right, cool. You know, your first mistake was treating me as your equal. Boom. Very T'Challa line. There's a lot of T'Challa lines in this comic that was exquisite. And then there was pages that were not exquisite. The moment of Anuket coming out of the water, talking to Bast. The character development of one of them we'll never see again. But the other one in Bast. Just watching this conversation happen was a waste of 2 pages. If you wanted to convey that, my patience is wearing thin and there's got some tumultuous beef between the 2 characters, it's accomplished later on in the comic with this page here. From here, I already know that there's some little understanding between the 2 of them that is business and not so much friendship. That was accomplished. But when I go to this page, these pages here, okay, is that right? Cool. I'll go back and see what the king is up to. Any deviation from the main character in scenes like this, as well as flashback scenes, which this comic book did have also, and I'm like, okay, any deviations, I'm always going to reject. I'm always going to speak out against. I'm always going to go, what's the point of allotting time to the Orisha, the Ennead, the Ptah, the Khonshu, all of that fills space that could be going to the title character. Imagine or supporting characters who stick around in this comic and move forward the story. Everything that happened in the past was just in this comic as well as in every other comic. I will always speak out against it. It's just not my thing. But you know who likes it? You know who's gonna be interviewing Cheryl and Eaton? Go check out Black Comic Lords and see a more positive take on the whole gods, quote unquote, because that makes me want to vomit. There's only one God, and I hate when they use that word. Okay, who's gonna be in charge? Who's gonna rule these people? What a fake situation. Ugh. So you got to see all of these entities fighting each other out. Now it looked good when they were fighting here. The proportions of these non-existent humanoid fighters were in check. I'm not complaining about how good it looked and how nice it looked, but when I saw a human being fighting later on in the comic book, let's just jump to there. This human being fight, when T'Challa's like, you know what, I'm going to give these guys a merciful end, because that's what I would have wanted. Holy! I was bewildered by how good this looked. I got to give credit to the director of this, because it's one thing to say that the art looks good, but who told Farid to do the thing with the chain pulling out, but also kneeing him inside of the guts, and you could see the blood oozing out? I don't know how much of that was his creativity and how much of it was her saying, you got to make this look good. Maybe she knew that's how it would turn out, but I'm sure she wrote that. She wrote that thing, got the digitals, colorless artwork, and just went, oh, this is, and then like panel after panel, it was like 5 in a row where I'm just going, even when the one where he's kind of just swimming up away and being like, all is done here, and you get to see all of the remains on this was fire by Farid Karami. I'm gonna look what's his name. Do I read it? It's Farid Karami, excuse me. This was spectacular stuff. The writing matched. There was a line where he goes, if a man who knows no fear is foolish, then I am wise far beyond my years and experience. Right before he throws down and trash talks these guys. T'Challa on point today. T'Challa on issue number 3 is T'Challa who needs to be in every comic. every comic everywhere because he wasn't really that cool in Blood Hunt 4. Good stuff. This page here now, the detective work of T'Challa. You know, I speak all these languages and I know a lot, just not this one. What could it be? Let me just try activate it with my DNA. And what happens from here is he's got a call to the Impossible City. So that's a tie-in to the current Avengers that's happening now. And let's get this thing teleported. We don't get a final resolution, a true resolution. He's going to link back up with Anukit and Bast. And he's going to talk to them. And all right, the rest is up in the hands of what happens in Blood Hunt. Keep reading, everybody. Blood Hunt's coming out. So it wasn't nothing finality. There wasn't any closure. But it was a tie-in comic book. So that was kind of to be expected. That's the nature of the tie-in comics. You can't ask for too much in tie-in comics. You're going to get tie-in stuff. And this was a tie-in comic. So for those of you purchasing this, maybe it makes you want to get issue number 5. As comic books starting from 1. The sales decrease each issue, each following month. Knowing that, to redirect people who are watching reading Black Panther, to go read Blood Hunt now makes sense. How many sales will that make? Maybe 100 sales or something like that. I don't know. Speaking of sales, you're getting a sales video on this channel coming up because things need to be broken down. I almost failed to mention, heart-shaped herbs were offered to T'Challa. If you didn't read Blood Hunt 4, don't worry, I'll help you. There's a line on this panel when he says, "Do you think Wakanda has never fought vampires that our gods abandoned us? The heart-shaped herb, it has been fighting my infection, healing me bit by bit." It was more than just one herb when we see what happens in this comic. He gets so many that it's going to help undo the vampireness. That I should have. How did I not start with that? Okay. It was a temporary status. Everything returns to the status quo in comic books. And that, of course, is the eye roll of the tie-in. I've complained about that so much, or talked about it so much. So have you. You know this. So the threat and the fear, or the substantial nature of T'Challa becoming a vampire, was always going to be done and over with in a short period of time. This is done and over with. The Blood Hunt explored his vampireness. He drank blood a couple times and was super powered for a little bit. We don't know if what powering him was Anukit or what was powering him was Blade. It was the vampireness of it. But that's all temporary. That goes away. Returning to regular T'Challa any minute now. T'Challa in the Avengers is where he's going to be showing up. 616 T'Challa is going to be showing up in the Avengers consistently. And that has become a pickup for me because Storm is also joining it. And what I would like is for the sales data, again with the sales data, to be reflected that when we put Storm on the team, there was a 5% increase or whatever. Indicating to that company through dollars, which is the only metric that matters there, that this is a high profile character. When we have her in a team book like the X-Men, even when she's the lead at times, the association or the credit of the sales go to the X-Men. It's a mutant brand, or it's the writer who's here. It's the collective. But an opportunity like this is rare. It happened once before in 2012, 2011. She joins the Avengers. Oh, sales either go up or go down. Is this a pickup? Is this special? Is it significant? Or is Storm joining the Avengers as meaningless as Tigra or Squirrel Girl? I don't even have to go that low. I can just say, when Blade joined the Avengers back in 2019, how significant was that? What sales increase was there? They tried to do like a whole, who's going to be the joining? Is it Howard the Duck? Is it this or that? I don't think, I can check, but I don't think there was a much of a bump. So let's do a thing. Let's do the thing for Storm. Let's do this thing for a character like Storm who has potential to reap the benefits of what representation is supposed to do. These castings and these appearances are of significance higher when it's Storm, when it's T'Challa, when it's... I'll even put Blade there for the argument's sake, but there's like a good solid 5 characters who are black who I would love to see in main roles. As I spoke out against the X-Men thing that they're doing with Sync, I got a video here called Sync is Missing. I'll close out. Sync is missing. This is a high profile enough character to be utilizing, as opposed to reaching to the bottom of the barrel, getting Oya, and being like, here, representation, take it. There's levels to this stuff. Support the Storm comics, support Storm and Avengers and Black Panther.